It wasn't much of a beach day on Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, as the remnants of Tropical Storm Isaias blew through the whaling city, knocking down tree limbs and causing power outages. But that same storm brought an unexpected guest, the Mayflower II. The iconic ship was on its way home to Plymouth after undergoing a 3-year, $11 million restoration in Connecticut when the storm caused an emergency detour. New Bedford's protected harbor is well known as a safe haven for vessels in stormy weather, and the city was thrilled to welcome her. Due to the current situation with COVID-19, no on-board tours were allowed, but Captain Whit Perry was more than happy to talk to New Bedford Cable Network about the beloved ship's restoration and homecoming.
When we look at these tropical storms, there's no better harbor that I know of around here than New Bedford, and we have been welcomed by New Bedford numerous times with Mayflower since 1957. And you know, we were down in New London, Connecticut, which is a great port as well, but it's got quite a fetch from the southeast. We started thinking about the weather forecast for this tropical storm, and after a multi-million-dollar 3-year restoration on the Mayflower, we thought that it would be smarter to go somewhere as protected as the New Bedford Harbor with the hurricane gates that mean so much to the downtown area and all the fishing fleet. We knew that, well, now after putting on 12 extra dock lines and lots of extra fenders, we knew that here in New Bedford we'd feel snug as a bug in a rug. We had been planning on another almost week of sea trials down in New London, and after the restoration, we have a crew of 27 people that sail the ship, and we try and test out all the systems, make sure everything was working properly. So we had planned to come through at a much later date, but I have to say it's nice to be back in Massachusetts waters. So 70 to 75% of the ship is brand new. Mayflower was built in 1957, and as a wooden vessel, you look around us and we have all the steel fishing fleet here. As a wooden vessel, after 63 years, it's just time for a major rebuild. And what we were able to do was, because we feel at Plimoth Plantation that Mayflower II is now historic in its own right, as Massachusetts has deemed the ship eligible for National Historic Place status, we followed the guidelines of the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines for historic preservation, much as you would do for many of your buildings here in New Bedford. And so while it's new, a lot of it is new, we preserve the tools, techniques, materials necessary to really do it right. And if you can see, all the sails are brand new, all of our rigging is new, the mainmast, the foremast. We have incredibly high quality oak planking, which the original ship had, and it's just been a fantastic collaboration with Mystic Seaport Museum to bring this restoration to fruition, and now to be heading back to Plymouth and Plimoth Plantation is just awesome.
Obviously, you can't go to your local home repair shop to get the pieces and the equipment and whatever you need. How difficult is it to secure the items that you need for a repair of this magnitude?
You know, incredibly difficult. And while Mystic Seaport Museum for a wooden ship was a clear choice for us at the time, a lot of the oak that we got for the ship came from Denmark, from the Royal Danish Forestry Service in Denmark. The woods, the quality of the woods, the length that you can't get at Home Depot. And so it's very hard. We have wood from about 12 different states on the ship, and including Denmark. So it's very hard to find the materials. It's also very difficult to find the skilled craftsmen these days. If we were welding, again, if we were working on a steel fishing boat, this might be the place to be able to do all the welding and things that we needed. But for wooden shipwrights, and we feel that's part of our mission, is to pass along some of the skills necessary to keep up a wooden ship like this. So it was very gratifying to have some young people working on the ship that learned from like the International Yacht Restoration School in Newport, Rhode Island, being taught by some of the older shipwrights at Mystic Seaport Museum to keep these skills alive.
I was going to say it must be hugely important, because the hope is this ship stays with us forever, and younger people are going to have to pick up the slack as far as knowing how to repair the ship, how to maintain the ship, really.
Exactly, and that's been very gratifying to help Plimoth Plantation further our mission of learning about the ship and learning about keeping the ship up and passing that on to the next generation.
I was asking you off camera, which I thought was interesting, with the amount of repairs that were done to the ship. I was curious if the crew had to learn or relearn how to use the equipment on the ship.
Absolutely, and that's another part of that educational aspect of learning to sail a square rigger. We have some crew on the ship that have been with Plimoth Plantation for years and have sailed Mayflower 7, 8, 9 times. We also have many crew on the ship, again 27 people, men and women sailing the ship, that have never sailed Mayflower. And with all the new rigging and the new systems, it's always a learning process when we're tacking and wearing ship and doing the maneuvers to see just how it handles compared to even 1957.
How has, since you've had it on for the trials and even coming up here to New Bedford, how has it handled?
It has surpassed all my expectations. From some of the pictures and videos I've seen of the ship in 57, I can only say that it's handling beyond my wildest expectations as far as being able to point into the wind, maneuver the ship. A little bit surprising to me exactly how well it's handling.
The one thing that surprised me, we were talking about it off camera, which I just can't get it out of my mind. A few years ago when it was at the shipyard getting just some repairs or upkeep, I guess, in Fairhaven not that long ago, and I know our videographer Dana shot it then, when it was in dry dock, out of the water, it was huge. And you look at it now, and it just seems so small compared to that.
Right. You have to remember there's 12.5 feet of the ship below the water, and at 284 tons, 25 feet wide, 29 feet long is the sparred length. It really does present an imposing figure when it's on the hard, as we say, yeah, as opposed to in the water. More to the point also is if you imagine coming across the Atlantic on that thing in 1620 with 102 passengers that did not know where they were going or what they were going to find. I always say for you or me, it'd be like us taking Elon Musk's rocket to the moon. Are you ready for that?
It is a beloved vessel. How, when you look at it from your position, the relationship between the ship and the people, there's something magical about it.
There really is, and for me, this has been a real honored position. As I grew up in North Andover, Massachusetts, and as a kid went to Mayflower on field trips as a kid.
Yep.
So now to be able to be part of the numbers of people who have supported and restored the vessel is just fantastic. And you're right, the ship means so much to Massachusetts, to America, and in fact to the whole world. People that may not have come over on the Mayflower still feel a piece or a tie to it, a feeling of ownership to Mayflower.
Well, it's interesting when you see people who aren't from Massachusetts who come here, maybe not from New England, from outside the area, who see it for the first time. There's that little awestruck look in their eyes.
It's a special ship. It's a special ship, Jim.
The repairs were done to commemorate the 400th anniversary this fall. Can you just tell us a little bit about that right now? I know details are still in the works in a sense because of the circumstances we're under, but it's still a big event this year.
Well, certainly our hope had been to have some commemorative events throughout the New England area. Especially we were looking forward to sailing with the USS Constitution out of Boston with a week-long free festival. All of those plans have been canceled. We had a week planned in Provincetown, and for 2020 all of that has been put on hold, and although it's been very, very disappointing for us, we know that the country and the whole world is going through a really hard time right now, and hopefully 2021 will get back on track.
Last thing for you, is it your hope that the vessel gets out of the harbor in a sense in Plymouth and takes some trips, I guess, some short trips around? Is that one of the goals, I guess, in the future for the vessel?
I would certainly put that forward to our board, and the ship's never been in better operational condition than it is now, and we all hope to be able to get away from the dock a little bit more, though our mission is as a historical museum there in Plymouth, so by and large we'll be there, but look for us here some more. And I really want to thank New Bedford, the mayor, the town for having us, and we'll be looking at New Bedford more closely as we see more harder winter storms in the future. We may be looking for some winter berthing for the ship that's a little more protected than Plymouth.
It's funny as we talk right now and you see the people just still taking pictures. It's been great to see it here. Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking an interest, Jim.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
New Bedford bid farewell to the Mayflower II on Saturday, August 8th, under much better skies. I guess we can thank Tropical Storm Isaias for our unexpected visitor. The Mayflower II was our silver lining to some very dark clouds.